Two, one. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Time Talk. I'm Quentin Anderson. Thank you all for joining us today. Today we have with us Sasan Rabbani from L-Acoustics. Just to give a little bit of background about him, and then I'm sure he will be able to expand quite a bit on his journey through 3D and Unreal. He's self-taught, or he began as self-taught, and he started working in Max first around the year 2000. And then after graduating, where he focused on software engineering, up until 2015, he began to learn the power of game engines, starting with Unity and then transitioning to Unreal Engine 4. Then around the time of the pandemic, he started experimenting with ray tracing and pixel streaming. And believe me, this is a very concise overview. He's done quite a few things, very many interesting things. We're very excited to have him on today. Sasan, how are you doing?
Hi, Quentin, and thanks for inviting me to your interesting podcast. And yeah, before I start, I wanted to share this thing with my people in Iran during this hard time, sending my love to my people and wishing for peace for people all around the world. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm doing great. I'm yeah, the as you said, I've been working on these softwares and tools for like quite a years. But the thing that brought me in, as I mentioned, is one ad, and I can start from there, which I think is the first story of 3D stuff in my life, which was a fridge app on TV, and I saw it, and the fridge was snowboarding. It was I was so excited to see this animation, and then I started finding a way to making that. And as you mentioned, I started the journey in 2000, and I'm still on the journey. So
Yeah.
the last thing I'm doing is working in Unreal Engine um, as a main tool, which I started with still images and animations. And then since I joined L-Acoustics, I got a little bit familiar with sound and the importance of sound and bringing sound into the scene. Because before I used to do ArchViz, and as you know, and most of the people do, you do the ArchViz, you make the animation, and you're gonna add a slow, probably piano music to it, and um, everybody is enjoying the music and watching what they're seeing on the screen. And after, like, let's say a minute, 2 minutes, everything is done, and animation is gone, and people are no more engaged with that. So being familiar and I mean, be a little bit more familiar with sound through acoustics, also um, being passionate about interactive scenes, it brought me into another kind of projects, which is adding sound to project, and the project is going to be an interactive project for more engagement. So what I'm talking about is when you are in an ArchViz, you can open a door and you can hear the sound of the door opening, and you can go from this room to the other room, and the acoustic of the scene is going to be changed, and you can hear that through your microphone. And even the better thing that you can do, or I'm working on it, is bringing binaural sound in and spatial sound,
Mm.
so you can be able to hear. Uh, I mean, you would be able to hear the sound from where the sound is coming in the space. So that is something else that it's so important in the industry that I'm working right now, called spatial sound. But it's also important in ArchViz, because when you do that, it's so much more realistic for people, and they're experiencing more. This is something that is so important to me these days, to let people to experience the space.
Hmm.
And as people experience the spaces, they're gonna be more engaged with the space. And for whatever reason you're doing that, more engagement is good for the creator of the app. So if it's the purpose is learning something, people can learn more, and they can, because they're gonna spend more time in your scene, and they can learn more about your products, your or whatever information you're conveying to the people. Or if it's something just like an ad and marketing thing, they're going to be more engaged and they're going to spend more time. So it's going to be more beneficial for you in terms of, selling the services or products.
And when we're talking about spatial sound, how or why is Unreal Engine important at that point? I mean, could we use spatial sound in a generic 3D app like Maya or Max? What is it about Unreal Engine that using sound to enhance experiences possible?
Right. Yeah, that's actually a good question. But right now, I think in terms of making the 3D scenes and, spatial sound, mm, Unreal is one of the best apps that you can use.
Hmm.
And with the meta sounds that is in Unreal Engine right now, which is a huge update. And
Mm-hmm.
also even before that, there were some more there were some other settings that you can tweak, and it was going to work good. But right now with meta sounds, it's going to be perfect. So I don't think you will be able to mimic what Unreal Engine could do right now in other applications. Also, I've been working, as you said, with 3ds Max for many years, and I'm still using it, and I enjoy using it. However, people are talking about Blender all the time to switch to Blender, and because it's for free, and that's another thing. We can all experiment that too, but that's not what I'm saying. The thing that I'm saying is the quality of the render versus the time that you're spending for the renders. With having a proper GPU in Unreal Engine, I think is right now better than any other applications in the market. So that is the rendering side, and also about the sound side. As I'm experiencing the 3D sound in Unreal Engine, this is so accurate, and in terms of both things, generating the sound in the scene, also making the environment, because these are two key elements that make the realism for you in terms of you know feeling, have a right feeling of the environment.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think this is the best way right now to make the sound, and also make the environment to hear the sound.
And when we're talking about spatial audio, just to give an example for some people that are listening that may not fully know, what's the difference between spatial audio in an Unreal Engine environment versus I guess I'll call it 2D audio. What would you say an example is to show what spatial audio is?
Yeah, I mean, if we want to be precise, I need to say that spatial audio needs some setup in your scene and in your physical scene to have like speakers around you and something that controls the sound for I mean to be let me put it this way. Um, there are many speakers around you that they are not sending same sound at the same time.
Hmm.
This is what special probably the simplest way to say what the special sound is, because they are working on the same scene, but they're sending different parts of the sound to you. So that way you will have this feeling that you are in the space that the sound is coming from. Let's say you are in a jungle, and there's a bird on the tree, and there's this river on your left side, and there's something at the back. With the spatial sound, you will be able to hear the sound where from where the source is. So that is the goal actually. Binaural sound, however, is mimicking the same thing in a stereo way with your headphones. So that is not the same exact thing, but it's a way to mimic the spatial sound, and the spatial sound is a way to mimic the real world.
Hmm.
Um, if I can,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah. I think
yeah,
that's a perfect way of
yeah. I
talking
mean,
about it.
this is the only way that I can think of, because when we are talking about the spatial sound in the company that I'm working, which is a pro audio company,
Hmm.
everybody knows that binaural sound is not the spatial sound, so they're different. But this is a way that you can tell people who are not in the same showroom that you made with many speakers in it to say what somehow what is this thing that I'm
Hmm.
talking about.
Hmm.
But if there's no headphones, there wouldn't be any experience for that, because you need to hear different things from different sides of, you know, headphones.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And talking about sound and your company, I'm very curious. How is your team, or why is your team using Unreal Engine for some of your projects with sound? How did you guys decide to end up using Unreal Engine? And if it's possible, can you share a little bit about how sound is being used in some of your projects?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about one of the projects that we had quite, I can say, hard time to show what this thing is. And because right now in the company that I'm working, um, I am in charge of showing the new products in keynotes and, product launches, also showing the experiences or part in videos or animations, or part of the videos actually that are in 3D. I'm just doing the 3D parts. So it was really hard to show this thing that is called ambience. And ambience is a let's say service that you can buy from L-Acoustics, and they're gonna change the acoustics of your space. And how it works is there's a lot of speakers all around in your space, and there are microphones. So the microphones are gonna get the sound. Let's say I'm talking in a room, and the
Hmm.
microphones are going to get the sound, and in real time they're gonna send it. I mean, it's gonna be processed with a processor, and they're gonna be send it to. It's gonna be sent to speakers with a different way than what it really is. So, and that
Mm.
is gonna change the acoustic of of the room that you are in. So they call it hybrid acoustics in a room.
Cool.
So you can change the acoustic of the room. So going from a cathedral um, acoustic, from a cathedral acoustic to a small room, or to a conference room. So this is something
Cool.
that allows people to use a venue for multiple purposes. So you can, rent it out and use it to be used as a with a cathedral acoustic for a day, and the other day you can have a conference in the same room, and the other day you can have a small concert, big concert, or whatever in the room. I mean, by the room, I mean the venue. And yeah, that is how it works. But it's as you see, it's not really easy to say what ambience is and how it works.
Hmm.
And during the launch of ambience, I made a video for it, which was kind of abstract, and it was um, going from a room in the space, coming out, the camera was coming out from the room and going into another space, and there were particles in the scene, and it was quite abstract. So people probably know, people who don't have an idea about pro audio or what the product is, they probably were not getting any more information from that video. But right now with Unreal Engine, we are working on a project. It's like bringing a section into website named Labs. I'm
Hmm.
working on that, and I hope that is going to be done probably in a year or so. So in that lab, you can go inside a room, which has been done in Unreal Engine,
Hmm.
and you can experience what you have, like ambience, which you will not be able to experience unless you go in a venue that has ambience in it. So if there's no way for you to go to see ambience or experience that, this is a way that you can have an idea about what ambience is at all. So you will be in the same room. You can do different activities. Each activity is gonna make a sound, like throwing a ball at the wall, or you know doing whatever you want in the scene, which is making the sound. And you can change the acoustic by pushing a button, which is happening in the real ambience, and then the acoustic of the scene is going to change, and the sound that you're going to hear from throwing a ball is going to be different this time. Yeah,
So cool.
this is something that we're working on, and thanks to Pixel Streaming and your services, I think we're going to be able to put it online on the website, and so people can experience in the labs and see what that is.
So, and if I'm understanding it correctly, let's say that your team has a customer and they have a conference room or they're going to rent a conference room, then they could use your application to experiment with the acoustics. So maybe they want to have exactly a conference room type ambiance, which they could then go to your app and experience what the acoustics are like under that context. And then you could change it to maybe like a cathedral or something like that. That's, I mean, I'm not an acoustic expert, but I know what a cathedral sounds like. You know, it just has
Right.
like that kind of, it's almost like a little bit of an echo or something like that. So you could essentially, through your app, toggle the ambiance to be more of like a cathedral, and at that point then people could hear, you know, what it would sound like in that true actual venue using a cathedral acoustic. Is that
Uh,
so?
yeah, I mean, I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, it's not done yet, so I can't tell you. I mean, the use cases are perfect, as you said. That is the use case. So
Mm,
people can experience what is the change of acoustics, because it's not doable to do in real world. And I mean, it is kind of doable, but it's so hard to do it. For example, if you put all the furniture out of a room and then talk in the room, it's going to be different, and by the time that you bring the furniture in.
true.
S- So yeah, you can feel the acoustic has been changed, but this is not a big change. This is just a little bit of uh, you know um, obstruction and ambient occlusion. I mean, not ambient, the occlusion of the sound. I mean, which sound can't move through the space, and it's been obstructed by furniture. But you, there's no way for you to mimic the sound to in a way, or change the reverb, or change the acoustic in a way that shows your room bigger.
Mm.
But in this way, in real world, you can do it with ambience in acoustics, and there are lots of other stuff that you can do with ambience. I'm not going to talk about that features, but we are trying to bring as much as we can in the app in Unreal Engine. So yeah, these are just reverbs are just one of the features that we are adding right now.
And one of the things that I'm curious about is because I know you mentioned pixel streaming. How can you share a little bit about your journey on how you discovered pixel streaming? Were you searching? Did you run into some sort of issue and then you began searching to learn about it, or did you see it in an Unreal Fest keynote, or how did you learn about pixel streaming?
Yeah, well, pixel streaming, I started learning about this during COVID time, which actually in Unreal Engine 4 there was a way, I think it was called WebGL or so, to put uh, what you made online,
Yes.
and I really missed that, because I was thinking, what happened to this? Because right now we have ray tracing, we have the path tracing, we have everything is going better, but where's the web export thing that we need to put it on the website? So I was struggling with this question for a while, and then I did a research on the web, and I find some people who are talking about pixel streaming, and either either making your computer as a, or using it as a server,
Mm.
or use a cloud server like AWS. So I started using my computer. It wasn't doing that great, so I started going online with AWS systems, Amazon Web Servers, and then it was not bad. It was good. I mean, I find a client who um, was wealthy enough to pay for pixel streaming at the time,
Hmm.
and so we have it online for them 24 hours a day. But after that, I realized that it's better probably to go for 8 hours, 10 hours, 8 hours, and where people are not awake. You don't need to have the server on. But at the end, I thought it was not easy to go with AWS servers and also to tell people how they have to pay for this thing. But right now, after I got familiar with um, your services and Eagle 3D streaming, I think you're doing a great job because it's much easier to use. I mean, it's not much. It's easy to use, as I have to say. Can make an Unreal Engine app, then you can use the you know pixel streaming service through your website. It's so easy, and you are providing some features like bringing a guest on the when you're working on when you're in a scene. So bringing a guest is a great feature because many of the people I've seen that you send them the um, link wherever you have it, and they can't move in the room, or they need help to be able to use this thing, or you want to give them some specific information about some specific corners of the space that you're in. So you need to be with them.
Hmm.
You either have to go on the phone and tell them, click on your left, click on your right, or, it's not
Yeah.
easy. But with the service that you guys provided, I think it's awesome because you can just go in there and tell them what to do, or they can do what they want, and you will be watching what they are doing and you can guide them. So this is something that is so important, I think. And yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and it's a pleasure having your team on the platform and sharing this application. I mean, and I know you're also using it for, like you said, maybe a Malibu house when you're experimenting early on. But it sounds like you're sort of at the cutting edge. I mean, if you were using pixel streaming when Unreal Engine was still version 4 or in the fours, I mean, that is early early
yeah, I mean,
adoption.
yeah, I don't remember if it was. I remember it was right after the export web export thing was gone from
Yeah.
Unreal Engine. I don't
Yeah.
remember if it was 4 or 5, but the year was 2020. 2020. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't remember the year either, but yeah, I think they're using HTML5 or something, and then they just totally killed it. And it's funny, it may be being brought back now,
Oh,
which
really?
but it may have a different form, and so I can see use cases for both. But that's really cool how you're using the guest and host feature. Believe it or not, we're already out of time. I know it
Okay.
goes it goes super super fast. Um,
Yeah.
so I just want to thank you again for taking the time to join us on our podcast. It's been a pleasure having the opportunity to discuss with you. Any closing remarks or last comments that you'd like to share before we begin to sign off?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to thank you and thank you for the podcast for the service that you guys are providing. It's awesome. It's so helpful, and I hope that you're gonna have more features and we're gonna use your service more and more and enjoy the service.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're just getting
Yeah, and
started.
thanks for having me on your podcast. It was a pleasure to be in your podcast and talk to you about the history of my work and life, actually.
Awesome. Likewise. Well, Sasan, thank you again so much for joining. And thank you all for viewing today's podcast. This has been Real Time Talk with Eagle 3D Streaming. I'm Quentin Anderson, and we will see you all on the next show. All right. Bye, everyone. All
Thank you.
right. Thank you.
Bye.